As a licensed therapist, there is a common pain point that I am seeing in the mental health space, and I want to talk about it. It's weaponizing mental health tools. So what does that mean? Mental health discussions used to be very taboo. Not too many people would talk about if they were experiencing symptoms of, say, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, or even symptoms related to, say, like schizophrenia, where there's a detachment from reality. People didn't talk about their mental health as openly because the stigma and the connotations were that you were crazy. There used to be mental health asylums. People would be locked up, pretty much, separated from community, separated from, being able to live with family, being in consistent contact with friends, people that knew them, loved them, and wanted what was best for them. Oftentimes those connections would be cut off as you are living apart from society. So what I am noticing is that now that there is an uptick in conversations around mental health and therapy is becoming more available to more people, individuals are discussing their mental health challenges and their journeys with it very openly. And there are those who are fully engaged in treatment. They are fully engaged in the process of healing, developing insight, growing, and improving the quality of their relationships. And then there are individuals who are simply becoming familiar with psychology and therapy speak. So they're using buzzwords and they're not doing the actual work. And I believe that is why we are seeing a very clear difference between those who are involved in the process and those who are simply interested in appearances. If you care more about what it would mean for you and your image if you were to say that you are in therapy or you have a life coach or you have read, say, your favorite therapist's workbook, whatever, we're not going to see lasting changes because you are simply committed to optics. You're not committed to a process. You're just doing it for the appearances. You're not doing it for actual results. Now I am starting to recognize that people are weaponizing the very tools that were intended for their personal healing, growth, and progression. Everything that is being taught in therapy or coaching spaces are becoming weapons now. Self-care has become a weapon where people might look down on others who cannot afford luxury self-care items like flying out of the country for a 10-day vacation or being able to book an appointment at the classiest 5-star resort and spa when they need to, decompress and possibly address symptoms of burnout. Boundaries are now a weapon. Instead of working through uncomfortable situations and seeing where necessary conversations can be had to address the root cause of, say, betrayal, hurt, disappointment, people are just cutting people off at the slightest misunderstanding. So people aren't doing the work to actually repair the breaches or work on restoring relationships. As soon as they are offended, they are cutting people off and mislabeling that as, well, I'm just exercising boundaries. No, you are cutting people off. You are weaponizing boundaries. If people do not behave in the way that you want them to, now they are forever removed from your life as if they never existed. That's not a boundary, that's a cutoff. And lastly, the very therapy sessions that are supposed to be a place to help someone develop insight and see how they can move away from the things that are holding them back, those therapy sessions are being used as weapons too. What do I mean by that? Well, clients may use their participation in therapy and the very lessons and coping skills and other tools that they are learning in that space as a means to look down on and possibly even hurt the family, friends, or associates in their lives and within their personal community that have tried to hold them accountable, but to no avail. So this can look like people throwing out statements like, well, I told my therapist about you and they cringed, or they told me that I needed to take inventory of my personal relationships. And I think that you are causing me more harm than good. But there's always two sides to every story. It's very much possible that clients, they might have a limited perspective because they're looking through life through the lens of being hurt, being misunderstood. They're looking through the lens of maybe they haven't forgiven someone who has hurt them. And until you get to know a person, like past 2 or 3 sessions in therapy with them, it's very much possible that a therapist, no matter how well trained they are, they could believe the narrative that is being presented to them. And then as they continue to do the work with the clients and break things down and highlight dysfunctional or erroneous thinking, such as like black and white thinking, or everything is a catastrophe, or the very like cut and dry, this person hurt me so they need to be removed from my life, like jumping to those conclusions very quickly until like that rapport and that groundwork has been established. We're taking what you're saying at face value. Until we get to know you, we may not know that this is a pattern, and this pattern is actually keeping you from relationships that will benefit you. Sometimes clients are so entrenched in patterns that they don't realize they are contributing to the quality of their relationships, whether they are good or bad. And instead of encouraging clients to cut everyone off who doesn't think like them or move like them, it is my job to help highlight the error in that thinking. Because isolation it's not helpful at all. Isolation turns you away from community. And not only does it do that, but it makes you glorify yourself to the point that no one else matters. And if you're going to be in healthy relationships, you have to come to the realization that you are not the only person in the room that matters. When it comes to isolating and focusing solely on yourself, even if you think that's for the good, over time, you start to live in a silo. And every thought that you have, you're not bouncing those ideas off of anyone else. So it's very easy to get trapped in the snare of, well, all of my ideas must be good because you haven't heard anyone else's perspective. No one is coming to you, or you're not going to anyone else to ask them, hey, I have this idea, or I had this thought. Can you help me as I process it out loud and figure out if this is actually good or if this is something that will be dysfunctional? This glorification of I'm doing me and protecting my peace at any cost has numbed many to the reality that God, right community, and practicing accountability are actually essential for our growth, not optional. I would rather be in a space where I can level with my clients like a concerned friend versus do them the disservice of remaining a detached and a distant paid professional. So instead of just letting them remain in the narratives and in the cycles that brought them to services, I would rather be able to help them build insight and then even challenge and encourage them to start dismantling the ideas and the narratives and the statements that they have told themselves about their relationships and even how they feel about their own identity. I want to do that leveling now. For those of you who are watching and maybe you're not so sure you are wanting to actually get into therapy because you're exposed to so much mental health content on the internet as it is. And yeah, whether it is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or you're even starting to build a close relationship with AI, aka ask ChatGPT this, that, and the other, and it spits out like the answers that would probably align with what you want to do versus challenging you to do something different. I'll say this. You are the common denominator in all of your relationships, personal and professional. You have a disposition that affects every atmosphere you enter, whether that is for the good or the bad. If every physical place and relationship you enter into over time turns sour, leaving is not the answer because everywhere you go, there you are. You don't need another self-help book. You don't need another list of catchy self-affirmations. And most importantly, you do not need another yes person in your corner or worse, on your payroll. If you want to actually see lasting changes, you don't need those things because those are going to keep you ensnared in the mindset of it's all about you. You do need to ask God to help you break free from everything and everyone who encourages you to prioritize yourself above His will for your life. So, if you're tired of the me first and me only mindset that has been driving you and countless others into isolation and further away from God's best for your life, I want to invite you, be completely honest, not just with God and yourself, but also that professional that you invite into your life to help walk alongside you in this journey of improving your mental health. Let's invite God in to the process of therapy, coaching, whatever services look like for you. While it is very tempting to try to heal on your own, healing within right community, it is so top tier, I promise you. And hopefully, as you improve the relationship with God and yourself, your relationships with people will also elevate in quality too. If you like content like this, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel for more content. Share it with someone that you know, share it with someone that you care about, who you think would benefit from seeing this. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.